Hey guys, I want to go through a few interesting observations from the recently released government UFO documents. I will organize this video the same way the assistant director does, organized by problem, the facts and discussion, the conclusion, and the action recommended. I hope this video can be useful to anyone who watches as a quick summary of facts from this document. After going through this document, it is obvious there's a large enough concern to prompt the assistant director to ask someone about any dangers UFOs may present. As you can see, the problem the assistant director outlines is to determine whether or not there are any potential national security implications. It is interesting to speculate what national security risks were on their minds at that time. As you'll see later on, Russia is at the forefront of the concern. Next, the facts and discussion section. The assistant director explains that only the group devoting any time to UFO investigations is the United States Air Force. He then concludes that flying saucers present two main elements of concern. Firstly, mass psychological hysteria, and secondly, it brings up a concern for the U.S. being vulnerable to air attacks. As a final recommendation, he asks the Director of Central Intelligence to advise the National Security Council of the potential implications of UFOs. Also, he asks that the DCI discuss this topic with the Psychological Strategy Board. Lastly, and something I found very interesting, was that he asked for the CIA to come up with a policy of public information to minimize concern and avoid panic. As we continue down the document, the Assistant Director expands upon his original concerns. In point number 2, he explains that the ATIC, with the help of a worldwide reporting system, keep track of all UFO sightings. He goes on to say that they are instructed to actually intercept them. Skipping down to point 5, he describes that an internal CIA consultant group stated that the UFOs could potentially be explained by science, just out our present scientific knowledge. It is also interesting to point out that they added the possibility of these sightings were caused by nuclear waste products dispersing into the sky. This consultant group recommended a group be formed to further investigate these unexplained sightings. The document continues to describe the two main elements of danger presented by UFOs. Firstly, psychological. The concern comes with how Russian media is treating these sightings. For the most part, they are not acknowledging their existence. This raises the concern that they are withholding information. The assistant director explains that this is critical to determine if those UFOs could be controlled, predicted, or even used as a form of psychological warfare. If we move down a little bit more, we can see that the handling of public concern is of great importance to the CIA. They wanted to avoid mass hysteria as best as possible. They also mention how the public is generally conditioned to accept the incredible. As we continue, it goes on to describe how immediate steps must be taken to improve visual and electronic detection of these UFOs in the event of an attack to provide instant identification of enemy missiles or planes. Next, he lists out action items of determining the present level of Soviet knowledge regarding UFOs as well as their possible intentions. The Associate Director then ends with point 11, stating how important he feels this problem could be. He wants a coordinated effort in figuring out a solution to the UFO phenomenon. Well, that's it. For the first interesting document, at least. I will go through all of them and post what I find if there's any interest in this. I also apologize for reading off a script. I haven't made videos before, but topics like these interest me too much to pass up.